Um, okay, so I'm going to ask you a question again, Dr. Joy. What is the most important thing about your services and why?
Thank you so much. So the most important thing that I do is, number one, I help people to reinvent themselves, particularly in this pandemic, is to really see where you're going to be going next and help them to get there. The second thing I do is help people to be resilient so that they can stay there. And then the third thing I do is help them to sustain whatever they have created. So that's what I do. And I do it for executives, women who are transitioning, veterans who are also transitioning, and entrepreneurs.
Okay, so now, Dr. Joy, it's your turn to ask someone else.
So let me see. Betsy, what do you do?
So I'm going to repeat as well. So I developed a software with 3 other founders, software as a service for the logistics final mile delivery world. So basically what we have created is a software that owner operators or small to medium-sized delivery companies can subscribe to. It's affordable and highly customizable, and it'll enable them to basically keep up with the customer demands, well, the customer expectation of, transparency and communication. And not only does it help them with their communication, it also, there's a lot of features within the software that will allow a customer to reach out and get a quote without, the delivery company having to pick up a phone. It really will cut down on the day-to-day tasks, and it will help with the routing. Everything's all stays within the job of the client, from communication to client information to what was delivered to the rating. So everything is backed up and supported. So we fully support, the customers have full transparency as to where their pieces are, what it cost. The drivers have full transparency. So if they have reached out to a customer and the customer said, sure, I'll be home, and then they're not, there's an actual timestamp on when they reached out. So it's really just sort of transparency for everybody. But right now, with driver retention, a huge pain point for delivery companies retaining drivers. And if a driver feels as though they're not kept in a silo and they have the support of their employer, it's, it makes it easier for delivery companies to retain drivers. And it also, we have a routing component that we're working on making a one-touch thing. So our goal is to have a driver have app and not have to leave it. And, there's a lot of background with this whole logistic piece, but generally that's what we're providing, is an affordable, smarter logistics option for small to medium-sized companies.
Okay, great. Thank you, Betsy. Now your turn.
Okay, Paul, can I ask you if you're an executive, if you're a member of the Fire Connect, what is it that you offer your clients?
Well, for your first question, yes, I am. I am a member of Fire Up Connect.
And
So
then,
what I offer my clients, which, by the way, I really admire both you ladies with what you have to offer the public. That's great. What I offer to the public is basically here in Rio Rancho, because I work both in San Francisco, we have an office there, and here in Rio Rancho. What I offer here is an opportunity for investors to come in and help build a modern civic center plaza for a modern city in the United States of America. Now, the reason why I say this is 2022, how many times do you hear that? It's almost like, to be in this opportunity, to be a part of developing a brand new civic center with this city here, because it's only about 40 years old. And a lot of people probably don't know that there is a city like this in the Southwest, and it's up and coming, right? So I just fell on this. I was a professional realtor and background in construction and real estate investments for my family. And I come out here to help a friend move, and this is where I saw the opportunity to come down a main boulevard of a city and to see that there's still vacant commercial lots here is just, to me, I have no family here. I just said, oh no, I'm coming here and this is what I want to promote. And then to back that up, you see the brain drain or the immigration of the young college university students leaving because there aren't no options out here.
Mhm.
So I think in order for a city to be recognized, you really have to build their nucleus, their civic center. That's the only way people are going to take you for, serious. And then the rest will come, definitely.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Now, Paul, it's your turn.
So I guess Narissa is back on. Narissa, if you could introduce yourself, because I really don't know who you are, who you're with, but what are your aspirations in life?
Nerissa, are you available? I think she's still
The
not.
internet is still
Yes.
really spotty.
Okay, there you go. She is there.
Yes, we could hear you now. Did you
Okay,
hear
it
my?
keeps going in and out, and it's like logging me out and logging me back in. So it's just, I'm just considering just logging out just because it's not working very well.
Well, we can hear you now.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Okay. So, Paul, what is your question for Nerissa?
Yes, so Narissa, yes, tell us who you are, because I haven't heard who you are, and what are your aspirations, the business that you're in, what are your aspirations towards your business and your life in general?
So my business is the Bright app. We are a software company. We're a back office automation tool for fitness providers around the world. And for clients, we are a truly private way to experience one-on-one private training. Our aspirations is to be the world's largest gym in your pocket, allowing trainers to earn 3x more than they earn and to have personal training be more accessible to them in their homes.
Okay.
Fantastic. Before I go on, wherever you're at, just stand there because it was coming in clear the last couple of sentences. So fantastic.
All
So-
right.
Well,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
She moved or something. We can't hear you.
Nerissa, can you hear us?
I'm sitting in the same hotel spot.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now, you can ask.
It keeps going in and out.
Okay, so who would, you have an opportunity to ask a question right now. Okay, so she's still going in and out. Okay, well, we're just gonna move on.
Can
Okay.
I ask her to type in, what's the name of her app? Narissa?
Yeah.
So Nerissa, if you want, you can go ahead and type the information.
The
There you
Bright app. Okay,
All right,
great.
perfect. There you go. Because I think you and Betsy should have some sort of a connection because she works with a software company.
And
Okay,
my husband also owns a gym. So.
yeah. All right. So next part of our meeting is what we call the expert section. This is where we talk about one topic and you get to chime in terms of what you think about it. So this time, since we just had our Valentine's Day yesterday, did you guys have a great time on your Valentine's? Okay. All right. So let's see. What would be a good word for us to talk about? I still want to stick to a business concept. And how about the word, let's see. What is credentials? Okay, let's talk about credentials because I know Dr. Joy as a coach will be, I'll be interested to hear what she thinks about credentials. So Dr. Joy, I'll start with you.
Okay, so you can be credentialed up to the wazoos, right? It means nothing.
It means nothing.
It means absolutely nothing. Because what is more important is your deliverables,
Okay.
right? And what I mean by that is that I was credentialed up, I am credentialed up to the wazoos and still could not find a job at a university.
Mhm.
So that's why I had to create my own platform for delivering educational products and in the personal development space to people who really need them.
Oh, that's
So,
interesting.
yeah.
Was that at I don't want to ask your age because that's impolite, but was it like when you're right out of school, or were you returning to the workforce? Just because I hear this with women a lot, if when they return to the workforce, no one wants to hire them.
Absolutely. And if you have a doctorate, no, people are definitely not hiring you.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. It's you become a threat.
Mm,
We're not really, we're just looking to contribute. But that's
If you
how
have a
you're
doctorate, you're a
perceived.
threat.
Yeah, you're perceived like that in the workplace, in
Mhm.
the general workplace.
wow, that's interesting. I've never heard of that.
Well, trust isn't. I'm not the only one. If
Yeah.
you were tenured before, it's not a problem. But if you, I mean, I was let go from my faculty position, right? But downsizing,
Mhm.
so to speak.
Ah,
I
okay.
could understand, Dr. Joy. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no problem. Mhm.
yeah, and you really have to reinvent yourself quickly. So you have to be able to pivot. Okay, this isn't working. Where can I take my skills and talents, and where can I then use them to help individuals who really need what I have? That takes a little bit of time to figure it out, but once you hit it, it really is the holy grail.
Wow. All right, let's move on to Betsy.
Well, yeah, I don't have credentials like Dr. Joy would have. And I do think it's a lot about what you're able to deliver. As far as, you know, am I creating a software that's going to help people's pain points? So and make it accessible, like the pain points of retaining drivers, the pain points of, you know, they're still working off whiteboards. So my deliverables have to be simple and easy. You don't need, and, you know, I need to deliver to a group of individuals that are on the older side, possibly aging out of a company,
Yes.
that aren't highly skilled on the computer. So it has to be a very well-designed software, but also be like attractive enough for the younger set that is coming in following, you know, the older people out, if you will. I mean, not that they're leaving, but it's an interesting dynamic to the population that we're trying to hit. So I don't know how credentials would really apply to what I'm trying to do, beyond just saying that I've been on both ends of the delivery spectrum, you know, throughout my career. I don't
Okay.
know if I'm answering the question properly.
Yeah, no, there's no right and wrong here. We're
Okay.
just trying to get everybody's perspective. All right, Paul, for your industry, what is it?
Right. Excuse me. To me, credentials mean qualifications. Are you qualified to do what you say you do? And I agree both with Dr. Joy and Betsy, depending on what your product or what you're trying to promote. What I mean by that is you could have a lot of credentials or qualifications. And as Dr. Joy probably has experience, and I see it sometimes, that some companies, some CEOs feel threatened that, well, okay, well, wait a minute, this person is really educated and they're not going to be a pushover. And some people are used to having that power, right? So in that sense, you can feel that you're being a threat to people. Now, as far as, you know, Betsy, where she has her partners, and of course, she probably has qualifications, and people in the public that she's promoting this to really aren't going to stop and question her if she has credentials, because all they know, does the app meet with my needs? Or as she said, my pain point, right? But for me, I do have credentials, and I've been in this industry ever since I was a baby from my dad. And then I licensed, went to school, studied this, that, and the other. So for me to be the impact investor manager and the CEO, you could bet I need to let people know my credentials, because now I'm asking investors for, you know, high levels amount of money. And when it comes to people's money, you could bet they're going to scrutinize, vet, and everything, and I have to meet that to them because I am going to be the steward of people's money. So to me, in my position, qualifications, credentials are a must. I have to have them.
Awesome. Wow. Different industry, different perspectives. Now, Nerissa, is there a way you can participate?
You have to say that again. It went out. What did you say?
So if what's your perspective on credentials?
On people having credentials to be hired?
And however you're looking at the word credentials, it's whatever applies to you and whatever applies to your business. And
I mean, being a subject matter expert is really important, but unfortunately in the software industry, there are a lot of people who start software companies and they do not have the credentials to start it. For example, in my industry of fitness, lots of people start fitness apps. They get venture back because they are MBA, Ivy League, and they're men, but they've never worked in a gym, owned a gym, or managed a gym. So credentials should be important. They're not always important, and they're not the reason why someone will fund you money if we're talking about my industry. And it's unfortunate because there are people who actually have the skills to run the business who don't get funded, like women, but they fund men who have zero skills in what it is that they're running. So, credentials should be important, but unfortunately they're not.
all right, awesome. Now we have Jennifer.
Hi,
How are you, Jennifer?
Hey,
I'm
Jennifer.
good. Sorry, I was in the middle of a meeting, but better late than never, right?
Yes, Jennifer. So Jennifer, just kind of introduce yourself to everybody. We already finished the Q&A, and we just finishing the second part, which is the expert section, and we were talking about credentials. So go ahead and
Okay.
introduce yourself, give us a little bit information for everybody, and then tell us what you think about credentials.
Okay. I work for a company called Stairlifts Made Simple. We serve the Inland Empire here in California. It's basically a mobility product store for seniors and disabled, anything from powered chairs to stair lifts. And then as far as credentials, are we just talking about, people's education and, whether it's good in the workplace or?
About it, it's your
Experience.
perspective.
Honestly, I feel personally that experience is more important than credentials. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to, pass college courses and whatnot. But when it comes down to it, I feel like it's about, building experience through working, for a business rather than looking at books and papers and stuff like that. So.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, this is really a good topic. And hearing from everybody in regards to your industry is really interesting to learn, because I came from the healthcare industry, and in the healthcare industry, credentials is a requirement because of what they have to deal with when it comes to the health, preventions and all the OSHPA's requirements. They have all kinds of things that you need to have that. Now, when it comes to marketing, it's very subjective. Because in some ways it's more about your skills, the way you think about finding creative solutions or strategies, and I think that's also a little bit on the coaching to Dr. Joy, because in the coaching side it's really how you look at things and how you analyze the situation of your client in regards to coming up with some strategies and ideas and advice. Now, but I see when it comes to real estate, especially for Paul, when you're dealing with money, I agree, you're going to have credentials, because when you get into a point where there's legal situation, that counts a lot when you have those credentials, because that's where they value your opinion based on your credentials too. And in addition to the experience, of course, but that is a requirement for that. Anyway, thank you so much for participating on this section of our meeting. Let's take 30 seconds to put your comments and feedback about what you heard from everybody and what you think, what it means to you. Now, I know, Jennifer, you only heard my opinion, so you can be exempted on this. And
Okay.
you can watch what everybody says.
Okay.
So we'll just put it on chat if you guys can participate on that 30 seconds.
Oh, you want me to us to type in?
Yes, on chat, please.
Okay.
I hope you don't mind me sipping on stuff in front of everyone here.
I'm having tea, so.
Fantastic.
And I have my bottled water here too, so we're good. We have to drink. We have to be,
Oh, yes, have to keep hydrated
yes, of course.
and full of caffeine too. That's always nice.
Or, Betsy, are you done? Are you good?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay. Just wait. There you go. All right, so you guys take a look at the comments. It's really good that everybody got to learn a little bit about credentials. Because again, the reason why we are here is to learn from each other. And it's good to, and Nerissa is said that it's good to learn from other folks' industry. Okay, cool. Now, I would like to also take this opportunity to your contact information. That would be awesome. And we can, I don't want to forget about that. I mean, I normally would do before the end of the, go ahead. and put
Some
your-
sort of background noise.
So everybody can also, what's that, Betsy?
There was a background noise. Did anybody else hear that, or was that me?
It might have been Betsy here at the office.
Oh, okay.
The next door in the office. Okay, it might have been us over here.
No problem. Okay.
That's okay. So go ahead and put your your contact information. And so everybody will have a way to connect with each other. I don't know why I asked for that right now, but normally I would ask for that at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, I was noticing that, but anyway.
It's like, I think because of me being in a hotel, it's like kind of
Yeah,
not in my normal zone here.
we're creatures of habit, I guess, when you're in your comfort zone. No problem.
All right, so let's do.
I'm sorry to be. One issue is we are in the midst of a name change. We've changed our name as a software because of trademark issues.
Okay,
So this is my current name of the company. That will change, and I'll just update when I check both Google accounts, but right now that's my current contact.
okay,
So
that's fine. That's fine, Betsy. I mean, this is just an introduction, you're getting to know people, and it's okay if they don't have everything about you.
okay.
Give them some surprises later, right? Okay. Next part of our meeting is what we call business share time. This is where you have an opportunity to share a success story, so we understand what kind of accomplishments you have done in your business, or anything that you have a challenge that that you want people to know. If there's anything challenging in your business that you would like to get feedback from everybody, or a specific goal that you want to really accomplish and you want to let people know, but make sure you give us a time frame. Don't tell us, okay, I want to make $1 million, and then you don't tell us when you're going to get that. So this is an opportunity, and this is part of why we need to get to know each other, okay? So I'll start this time with Betsy. So Betsy, it's your turn.
Well, I think that the success story, and again, it's just not myself, it's 3 co-founders. One, Anthony, he's been in logistics forever. Matt is our technology end of the business. He's done all the development. And then Anna is, she had worked with me on a previous company that I had started and stepped away from the day-to-day, but I'm still a part owner. And she does all the editing. So it's all 4 of us together, and we each bring different credentials. To Nerissa's point, we each come from a different perspective. But what I'm most proud of to date is that we were able to pull this all software together, and we're able to launch it, a soft launch, September 1, and it was all during COVID. Everything was remote. So we didn't have one single meeting in person. Which was a huge challenge. But fortunately for it being a software business where we didn't have to touch or feel anything, it worked out. So that's what I'm most proud of. And our goal is to do a relaunch with a new name and logo. And we actually added a new instance of the software that is more affordable and easier to get the subscribers onboarded to. I know Nerissa will be able to understand that piece a bit. There's not a lot of barriers that they have to go through in order to use the software immediately. So it was a little bit of a step back, but I'm really proud of everybody for digging in and being like, okay, we're going to do it. And, the Q2, beginning of Q2 is our goal to have that launched.
That's awesome. I'm proud of you, Betsy.
Oh,
You gotta
thank
be
you.
fighting for it.
Thank you.
What you have to do, you gotta, when you fall, you stand up and do it again. Never quit on anything. All right, Dr. Joy, what about you?
Oh, well, I'm really proud of the work that my team and I do with our clients. We have a 90% success rate where people who come and engage in our courses are able to really reinvent themselves, and then they get free, and then they stay the course and they go into different professions, or they write books, or they discover, their purpose like completely differently, but then they fulfill on that, and we hold them accountable for that. So that's one thing I'm really proud of. But what I'm really proud of was on Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, I was able to launch my book, The Art of Resilience. It's a 23 women from all over the world
Wow.
are in this project.
Good for you.
And it is no small feat to pull 23 women from the globe, all over the globe. But we had 180 people show up for the launch on Zoom.
Wow.
And so they're called them phoenixes. So the phoenixes actually rose, and we say they launched themselves. And from all walks, and the book will be on Amazon within the next week. So
Wow.
I'm really, really proud. It took everything. I had to go take a nap afterwards.
It's awesome, Dr. Joy. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive. Okay.
So we did.
Yes. Okay, so let's move on to Jennifer.
I would say a recent success story would be, honestly, we haven't got a whole ton of, walk-in traffic. But a lady literally lived, I don't know, like 3 houses down, and she was walking around and she came into our store. I don't know if you guys know what vehicle lifts are, but they carry the scooters on the back of the cars. She actually came into our showroom and found the perfect vehicle lift that matched her power chair and her car. So she was super excited. Now we have that referral. I'm really glad that we moved to Sun City. We used to be in Temecula. So, we're near the 55 plus community now. And, now we have more word of mouth and stuff like that. So that was pretty exciting.
Did you, by any chance, ask her to give you a testimonial or a video testimonial?
Not her specifically. That's something we need to start being a little bit more up to date on. We are redoing our website, so that'll come along. We have some older testimonial videos, but she would for sure be an ideal candidate for that. So we probably will be giving her a call for that later on.
Awesome. All right. Nerissa, are you available?
Yes.
Okay. So what about
Can you
you?
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Say that again.
We can hear you. Are you able to hear us? So if not, Nerissa, just put your success story or a challenge or a specific goal on chat if you're going in and out. So use the chat for your advantage, okay? So
I'll try my best to do this if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can
Now
hear
we
you.
can.
Okay. So success and challenge. It's been challenging to raise money from VCs. They really just don't listen to women. It's more than that. They just don't invest in women. They don't listen to women. However, despite not raising money from VCs, our revenue increased 600% last year. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
So you keep showing those results, and it wouldn't make if they see the results, it wouldn't matter who you are or what you what you do. If you have the results and it's proven, people will come to you and they will use you. Okay, Paul, your turn.
Well, I just have to say, I am just such a fortunate man to always be around great women. So my hat off to you women, and definitely, I'm not just saying that, but I owe a lot to my mom. So she was a great woman, and I've had some great women in my life. So too bad for a lot of men that don't see that. But anyway, my challenge or my success, I think when I first got into this, unbeknownst to me, I didn't think it was going to last this long, to really be diligent and not give up and market this because it's a once in a lifetime, at least for me. This is bigger than me, and this is a legacy that will continue. But I'm just so fortunate that I could support this up till now. With that said, I'm noticing that the little seeds that you plant, they do flourish as time goes on, but you just have to keep cultivating. Hence, tomorrow I'm meeting with my architect. We're going to look at a smaller concept that will accent or give, say, credit to the overall conceptual plan of the Civic Center Plaza. So we're meeting tomorrow. A potential investor partner is still wanting to be on board. And you, Marie, you've introduced me to a couple high-level investors, and I'm still keeping them in queue, but definitely we just want to always develop to the point where when it's right to present this to those level of investors, that's where we're going to make the move. Also, with that said, Marie introduced me through this platform was the new architecture school of Southern California. And me being from San Francisco in California, I think this is a component that we really need, is an outside eye that can really give an international flair to this, where hence my architect here was born here in the southern part of New Mexico, but attended UCLA, I think in some years back, and worked for a big firm in Southern California for 20 years. So why I say this, it's just in time, the pieces do come into place, and I'm just wanting to keep on going because I have too much time and money invested into this. So that's been a success for me. I just steadily see it. And one of another partner or potential property partner that owns like about 50 private lots out here, I met them a couple of weeks ago, and they just emailed me yesterday, just want to see, hey, Paul, how's things going? They saw me on the Real Men of Real Estate. They liked what we presented as far as San Francisco real estate. So just building these relationships. Now, the challenge is just trying to, keep the motivation going. I've always been a person that doesn't, I've always not a follower, bit of a maverick. And so I just want to keep going, even though I hear some people, my accountants, CPA, Paul, you've been supporting this for 3 years. We're concerned. You need some money coming in and this and the other. But it's just big things, if this was easy, everyone would be doing it, right? So
Yes. You just keep believing and know that, you are called to do something big, and you just have to keep fighting for it. And I have more for you, more connection for you, Paul. So don't worry. All right. For me, I actually am very excited because I was able to put together this event with the right people. This is called the International Wealth Builders Associations. And I was able to get the 3 cities to be in this one event. You're talking about city of Temecula, Murrieta, and Wildomar, and all the economic development, officials are going to be in my event with all the leaders from several organizations coming from San Diego, Orange County, and LA and Riverside. I was able to get everybody in one place. So I'm very excited about that, very accomplished on that. And I might have another new radio show, Paul.
what's that one called?
Yeah, so aside from, we have a Fabulous Lifestyle Radio, we have Real Men of Real Estate, which is Paul is part of it. He's hosting one of the radio show for Real Men of Real Estate. We also have a radio show, Fire Up Connect. For this group, we do have one. And I'm gonna get another one, which is gonna be, well, this one is already in place. It's called Building Solid Foundations. And I actually need more people to interview for that. So since I'm connected to all of you, it's good that, I'm learning things about your business, because I could probably be asking you to be interviewed in some of these radio shows. And then the new one, I was just talking to the former NFL football player, and I talked to him about having a radio show, and he is interested in doing it in a weekly basis. So there you go. While I'm here, I'm creating more shows.
You're on a roll.
Very nice.
I'm not wasting any time at all, Paul. I mean, you're talking
Very
about
good. You go, girl.
here for a large, land project, and then I'm also calling on some new more things for Dallas City here.
Wow.
So that's what we
Fascinating.
do. We are very creative. We are, and we have to think, that we have the energy, we have the wisdom, we have the power to do whatever we wanted to do, and that's what we're doing. Well, so far, it was amazing to hear from everybody about your success stories, your accomplishments. You guys are amazing. I mean, I am, every week, every meeting, Paul, right? We meet so amazing people and we hear this, things that they do. It's just so incredible. So next part of our meeting is, this is where we wanted to just get feedback from you. And in terms of what you've heard so far from everybody, did you find any kind of collaboration or opportunities or any ideas out of this conversation? So I'm going to ask Dr. Joy this time, what did you think about our meeting and what did you find from what you heard from everybody?
Oh, I loved it. I loved hearing about different industries. Paul, don't give up. Keep going. Okay.
Thank you very much.
But in terms of where there could be a synergy or collaboration, I'm really looking for people who are in transition in their lives. Anyone who's in transition or anyone who is currently underperforming in their industries. Those are the two groups of people that I can make a huge impact with and help them be able to double their income, be honest, maybe this isn't for them, and to be able to say so rather than plowing through. But those are my favorite soft spots that I absolutely love working with. So people in transition and anyone who's underperforming in their industry.
Awesome. All right. What about you, Betsy?
Yeah, well, I actually, this has been I didn't really honestly know what to expect, but this has been delightful. Clearly, I feel as though Narissa and I have a lot in common. I can appreciate the frustration with trying to be funded and taken seriously. I already went through that with my initial business, which was an online consignment company. And I used to joke about it with my former partner. They're just looking for the older white guy. I mean, that's literally what it was like. We would come in, we had proven track record, and that wasn't even a software play. So Narissa, with a software play where there's not a lot of, it's a light touch. You don't need a lot of money to create your software initially. It can get very frustrating. So, I appreciate that being, just kind of reaffirms that at least it's not just me and I'm not getting down about it. I do think that, listening to even like deliverables or credentials or just me learning how certain words sort of, are perceived by different people. In building out a script for my pitch or for when I, going for like board of advisors, getting them on board, we're in sort of a growing stage, whereas you all, Dr. Joy, you launched a book, you wrote a book, you have a business, that's unbelievable. And Paul, you're building a field of dreams or a dream city, and they will come. The only thing I can say to you is try and get tech companies to come there, right?
Yes.
Get tech, and you will get, I've got several kids that have graduated from two, and one of them is working for a tech company in Manhattan. And if he had an opportunity to go somewhere a little more beautiful, I think he would take it. Yes, I definitely, and it was delightful to meet everybody here, Jennifer too, as well, going to Sun City.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
It's a great move. Sun City is,
see, one thing that about Rio Rancho is they have the biggest Intel Corporation employment in the Rio Rancho city, New Mexico.
Yeah,
And sometimes people don't know that Rio Rancho is an attractive place for employment because Intel pays a lot of money for engineers and architecture. I mean, you know, I lived there for 5 years. That's why I know.
well, just like Austin became a place for tech. I mean, you know, it's just, you just sort of put out in the universe and it'll come back to you.
leverage all these names, Paul, because I think it's part of marketing Rio Rancho too, is to really use some of the big names that you have in the city and promote it like crazy. That's just, I mean, and that's how I work. That's why I was talking about my event that I brought all this economic development, you know, managers from different cities and the leaders of each organization. And I brought them in because that is credentials. That, that is credentials for my event. So anyway, okay. What about you, Paul?
Well, ladies, I want to thank you very much for, you know, giving me that pat on the back and to keep going, because, you know, it's through forums like this, excuse me, we really do get a lot out of this. I know I'm a busy man, just like you ladies, you're busy, but to me, this platform is almost like you're still in school. You know, you learn something and then you get out on your own and you apply it. Well, this is like continual education at a business level where you're really seeing, you know, those business people that are at the front lines of their businesses. And just by listening to you, folks, either confirms or gives me good ideas. Betsy, to your point, you bet that high tech is something that could really add to this place so much that I gave a presentation to the New Mexico Department of Transportation that on the west side of the Civic Center, I was promoting what we're calling the Internet of Things District. And this was before even Jeff Bezos was out here. And so I wanted Rio Rancho, the mayor, I set up a field trip with him to really look at the underutilized secondary airport, which is called Double Eagle, that hopefully they could purchase it and start looking at the big vision. And so when I gave the presentation, one of the major components there was Amazon, because we're thinking of putting in a loop out there. Well, when they didn't want to buy it, I got on the phone with, you know, Amazon. I called Seattle. Of course, they're not going to give me the phone to Mr. Bezos or give Mr. Bezos the phone to speak to me. But just the fact that they gave me the portal in which I can communicate this once in a lifetime opportunity. Well, before I knew it, I'll probably never get the credit for this, but I really don't care. Well, probably about 9 months after that, we hear on the news, guess who stealthily bought huge amounts of acreage out there. Well, it was Amazon, and it was some of my sources that called me one day at my office and said, Paul, remember that presentation? You'll never guess who's here now, but we got to keep it under wraps because they wanted it to be, excuse me, a very low key development because there wasn't any, you know, cities fighting for Amazon. And this, remember, with New York and how they were, well, this came after that. And so now Mr. Bezos is over there. So of course, me coming from San Francisco, knowing how Silicon Valley connects with San Francisco, that's one of the, examples that I want out of here to keep that brain drain or stop it. We want to produce our own tech, companies here. And of course, I am reaching out to some, but you know, sometimes you have to deal with what you have. But of course, this is what we want. We want high tech over here.
Wow. Well, we'll keep that in mind. Now, Jennifer, what about you?
You know, I kind of stepped in a little late. Unfortunately, I didn't get to hear too much, but I definitely, you know, enjoyed hearing people's opinions about the credentials thing. You know, I figured people would have different opinions about that. You know, I know somebody reached out to John Alero and we're making a connection there from the last meeting. So, you know, I always feel like that this meeting is beneficial. So
I am glad to hear that, Jennifer. Gotta get some testimonials. If something comes out of that, let me know. I need those testimonials.
Yes,
Mm.
yes, I will.
All right, it's the proof of what we are doing, and so don't forget to get those testimonials from people that have that you have reached out or you have done something good for them, because those are important. I'll tell you a story. I was working with this gentleman who was a military veteran, and he called me and he offered me to help him with this project. First thing I need to do is due diligence, right? And one of the things that I was seeing, he's got a lot of testimonials coming from the city officials. And, that adds up to, the level of trusting him, because these people are giving him testimonials. So keep that in mind, all right?
No, I agree. Because even, when I applied for the job to work for John, I looked at his website and I saw how much his customers loved him. And I was like, oh, he's probably a really good guy to work for. So, it definitely, it's important. So.
Yeah, glad to hear that. Okay, now we are, what time? We are 3:58. We have 2 minutes. So far, what did you guys think about our meeting? Dr. Joy, your first time here.
I thought it was really informative. I love meeting everybody, hearing the different industries. So yeah, really, really cool.
Okay, and Betsy, what about you?
I same. I think it was really fun. I had no idea what to expect. And again, it's really nice to have a group of individuals. I mean, some very similar, like Narissa and I, and what we're doing, and some very like aspirational for me, Dr. Joy. And I actually, Jennifer, I've been in sales, and Paul, it's amazing. Your opportunity is very exciting. So it's been great. I mean, I could dive into any and all of your companies, because I just can relate to everything everyone's doing. So I think it's a great way to spend some time.
All right, and Narissa, is there any feedback from you? I don't know if you can hear us. Okay. All right, well, we'll move on. And Jennifer, comment?
I feel like everybody in this group was a really, good group of people. It seems like every, meeting, there's a good variety of people in different, fields and stuff like that. So it's always good, hearing from a big variety, like I said, so.
All right, and Paul?
Just to reiterate, I think everyone brings in something so important that we could each benefit, even though it's something out that probably, relatively speaking, might be a different business concept. But I think all in all, the way this world is moving, companies do need, excuse me, some type of app application to communicate, especially with the generation that's coming up. Also with the services, like for sure, Jennifer, I know that once we get funds, and there's a lot of people that retire here, but the average age out here now is 36, because people are looking, where can I get more for my money? And you talk about the scenery out here. We're a mile up in the air, high desert. It's beautiful. So a lot of the young couples are seeing that their money goes a long way. And Narissa, I'm a lifetime member of 24 Hour Fitness from the San Francisco Bay Area, but I move out here, they don't have that. And so here I am, a life membership. So if your app offers that type of, say, collaboration with gym facilities or something like that, you are definitely onto something. And Dr. Joy, one word that stuck out to me in your presentation, because I attend a lot of meetings, international meetings too, what you said in your transition and put in the word COVID or post-COVID, that to me is huge, because a lot of people, they don't know how the work life is going to be now that we're getting, hopefully, seeing a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel with this COVID situation that we're going to live with, but we have to keep working, we have to be productive. So I think that's great, so much that we're going to use that in some of our marketing for sure.
All right. Well, keep in mind, Fire Up Connect, it's bringing a lot of new people. Actually, in our last meeting, we had such a great time. And even the one before, there's more people to meet. And I think if you find that this is refreshing for you, join us, because you'll be surprised how much you meet people here. And we create so many projects, so many connections and so many marketing programs, and you'll be surprised how much you'll get from your membership. You know, I like to surprise the members, so I don't like to spill it out everything, but you know, when you become a member, you'll know. And Paul has been a member and he's never missed any meetings. I have a lot of members that they couldn't make it to the meeting, but they watch the recording and then they try to connect with the people that are in the meetings. So, you know, keep that in mind. Any other questions before we close? Go ahead, Dr.
How often do you meet?
We meet every Tuesday at 3:00 p.m. Pacific time and every
Oh.
Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And so we have 8 meetings a month. And
Okay.
you'll meet so many different types of people because some of them would come in on Friday, some of them would come in on the 2nd week or 3rd week or 4th week. So it's just how they are. And we're not really as strict as BNI or the other business networking group there because, you know, we feel like, okay, if you are in a business and you want to connect and you see the value, you have to be present. And if you're not present, then you miss it.
Mm.
Because I do benefit from all of these meetings. I have gained so many projects. I mean, you're talking about good income stream for being connected to the people that are coming into the meetings. I collaborate with a lot of people and I do really, really well in this meeting. So if people are not taking advantage of it, it's okay with me because I'm here. So anyway, any other questions? We're good?
I had one for Betsy. Betsy, where are you stationed at, if I could ask?
I'm right outside of Manhattan in Greenwich, Connecticut.
Oh, yes, okay.
So my partner's one of my partners is in Bridgeport, which is just probably a half hour up, 95. And then another is based in Maine. And then my 4th partner, she's just moved to West Hartford. So we're all on the East Coast.
Okay.
And we all can get
Fantastic.
together. Yeah.
You know, I actually, from our 2 meetings ago, there's one person that connected to me and I connected her to another members of ours and they just had a meeting this morning. It was like crazy. It's just how everything is. And I love connecting people because I wanted to see that there is the result of, you know, what I do here. I enjoy everything that I do and I love my connections. So, and I would like to see that happen for all of you too. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Make sure you
Thank you.
save the chat. And if you wanted to have a one-on-one meeting with me, please do so. And I can give you more information about Fire Connect and some of the things that you can gain. I am a personalized branding consultant. I do a really, really good job promoting people. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. And I'm very diverse with my connections.
Okay.
I could go healthcare, real estate, fashion, you know, and business. Just so many things I'm connected to, and you'll love it. All right.
Okay. So
Okay.
reach you on LinkedIn?
I am on LinkedIn. Marie Antoinette Waite is my name in there. Please send me a request and I'll accept you there. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. Have an amazing day and make some more business. All right.
Okay.
It
Bye,
was a
everyone.
pleasure
Bye,
Thank
thank
you.
to
you.
be part of this.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.